there, I'm Mary Susie from Bead Me a Story, and today I'm going to show you how to make these teeny tiny little angel charm earrings. Okay, so you can see on my finger just how tiny these are. Very lightweight, easy to wear, perfect for a gift for those people who really don't like large jewelry. Okay, and you can see all the different colors I've been able to make these in. Red. Today I'm going to show you how to make this in a rose gold, silver, and pastel finish. This is a darker blue one that I made. And also too, I just want to show you, this is a Celtic wings pattern that I'll be using for this. And I just want to show you that there are other designs. You can kind of see the Celtic wing here, how it has this little center part, and then it's connected to the next group, and it has this little center part, but it has these spokes hanging out, and there's also spokes on the inside of this. So this little snowflake I made to go with these. So I had the snowflake as the pendant, and then the little earrings to match in the Celtic wing pattern. So let's go ahead and get started, and I'll show you how to make these. Okay, so to start this project, you can see I've got all of the largest number of rings I've got are the 20 gauge 7/64. These are rose gold, and they're beautiful. It's a new color that I have available right now. Also, I've got 20 gauge 5/32. These are closed rings. These are gonna be the center of the body. These are the wings. I've pre-closed these. These are 20 gauge 3/16, which is the largest size that I have available in a 20 gauge. The face of the angel, these are open rings. These are silver frost. You could do these in any color. I like to use a frosted finish just because it's more opaque, and I think it stands out a little bit more against the shinier parts. The halo is a 20 gauge 5/32 jump ring. I use sky blue for that. Of course, you can change that at any point. And then these two top rings, these are 20 gauge 1/8 I have open. Those just hold it all together, okay? So those are our pieces. There are a lot of little pieces for such a tiny little project, but we need them all. So what I'm doing is I'm using one of my 7/64 to pick up a pair of 20 gauge 5/32. This is the body. So these are the silver rings I have set out here. Okay, and I'm just gonna do one of these and set that off to the side. I'm gonna come right back to that in just a minute. Now I'm gonna pick up another 20 gauge 7/64, so I'm gonna pick up both my wings. Okay, so this is kind of the center point of the angel. So I'm using the 7/64 to link these two wings together. And this is part of where the Celtic wings comes in. So these will be the hanging to the outside. And I use this pretty lavender. All the pastels seem to really look beautiful with the rose gold and the silver, of course. I want to get this ring closed a little bit better, so I had to nearsighted, so I had to take off my glasses, see a little bit better up close. Okay, all right. So you see I've got two rings holding together these two larger lavender rings. Now what I'm gonna do, and you notice I only put one on here, and this one 7/64 jump ring on these two 5/32 silver rings is gonna act as kind of like a hinge, okay? Actually, let me bring this over here more. Okay, so I'm gonna lay this down in here, okay? And I'm gonna fold, so you see I have one behind and one in front of. So that's the whole idea, is that I fold that around that center part to hold that pair of 7/64 that I put that are holding the two wings together. See how that's sitting now in the center of my 20 gauge 5/32 ring, okay? And now I'm gonna link this on the other side, just one, so it doesn't fall off. Okay, and that is a Celtic wing. So you can see this here, Okay, now I'm gonna add a second one to either side. Now I'm kind of going for durability and design with each of these, because on the bottom of the skirt I want more rings to attach to, and on the top this is just to give her neck a little bit more substance. Okay. Okay, so you can see there. So just to rehash this with you, the first thing I did was connected these wings, these biggest ones, with these two jump rings that are now in the center. Okay, then I folded this silver and rose gold piece around this center piece, and I linked it on either side. Okay, so that's the body. Now let's add let's add the skirt next. It'll be easier that way. Okay, so for the skirt, all I'm gonna do is just create a 1x1 chain on either side. Okay, so I'm just adding a ring, adding another ring, and then adding one more. So I added 3 down on this side. Okay, and then as you know, I have another one over here. So let me make sure I've got enough jump rings to do that. Okay, so now I'm going to start on this other ring. Okay, so 1, 2, 3. Okay. Keep pushing my mat further away from me. Okay, so just to show you, I have 2 strands coming off the bottom. This is 4 rings long. One of those rings is the one that was connected to the center, and that one's 4 rings long as well. Now all I'm going to do to make her skirt a little bit fuller is on this right hand side one, I don't want the one that connected to the body. I want the next one down. So I'm just going to pass through that second ring down and close. And then I'm going to pass through this one that I just added. Okay, this is very simple. Nothing hard here except for the fact that all of these jump rings, when you're working with 20 gauge 7/64, you are working with some tiny jump rings. So creating that little body part that I did at the beginning, I know I made it look easy, but if you haven't worked with micro-sized rings before, you may be challenged by it. But you know, practice makes perfect. There are magnifiers, you might want to use good lights. Okay, so now I'm on the other side. Okay, see, so here's the one that's attached to the middle. Here's the next one down. I'm going to add 2 rings to this side too. I'm just making her skirt a little bit fuller. So as I said, good lighting, there's magnifiers, and then there's just practice with your hands to get your hands used to working with such small items as these are. So these are really tiny. It's a very small project. Okay. All right. So now, just like you see over here, now our angel has a full skirt at the bottom. Okay. And then we're going to add her face. So I'm just going to use a silver frost. I probably could have used a matte champagne for a slightly darker skin tone. You can use brown, you can use silver, whatever color you feel like using is just fine. Angels can come in all the colors. Like I said, I just felt like with the rose gold and the silver that I plan to use and keeping in the pastel colors, that's why I wanted to use a silver frost, because it was a good opaque finish where you could still see it. It would kind of stand on its own. Okay, so now we're almost ready to finish up, and this little lady needs her halo on top. So this is actually, believe it or not, a really tricky part. So you got to kind of lay the halo on top, and then this is where the tricky part comes in. So you see I have it just laying here, and I'm supporting it. You know, I'm squeezing it on either side with my hands. I'm going to bring in this other finger too, and I need to hook around these two. Oh, I did that pretty well this time. Should have seen my first one. I really struggled with it. Okay, so see how it hooks around the two silver frosts that are in her face, but it passes through the center of the sky blue. It doesn't hook around the sky blue at all. Okay, and like I said, these have to be 20 gauge 1/8 so that this 5/32 ring that's her halo can't come off the top before we get it attached to an ear wire or something. Okay, and I'm gonna put one more in just for extra sturdiness. Make sure that top ring can't come off. Okay. All right, and that is it. We have a wonderful little angel. Now you can see it laying on my finger how tiny this little pair of earrings is. It's really small. Okay, so this is great for those people who don't like big, great big jewelry, who just like really dainty, tiny little things. Okay, so you can see this beautiful pair of earrings. If I'm going to put it onto an earring, I'm probably going to use one more jump ring. It really doesn't matter what size. So this one happens to be a 20 gauge 7/64 in silver. I could use a 1/8. It doesn't really matter, but just something that can hook through the earring wire, okay, and attach it that way. If you want to make it a little pendant, then you could probably just simply pass a very small chain through these two jump rings that are at the top, okay, and like I said, you can just go crazy with colors and making her in all sorts of different ways. But the beauty part of this is that it's an extremely dainty, small little project. So for those people who don't like jewelry that are too big, this is ideal holiday gift for them. So I hope you enjoyed this project, and I hope you'll like and follow me on YouTube. And this the jump rings for this and the supplies, and I may have a few kits available at beadmeastory.com. Thank you so much for joining me. I'll see you next time.